I'm a combat veteran. Iraq, 2007. Lost my left leg to an IED. Been in a wheelchair for the past 17 years. When I bought my house in this Arizona neighborhood last year, first thing I needed was a wheelchair ramp. Nothing fancy. Just aluminum, 12 feet long, ADA compliant. Cost me $800 to have it professionally installed. To me, it wasn't just a ramp. It was my independence. 5 days later, I got an HOA violation notice. Unauthorized structure. They wanted the ramp removed immediately because it didn't match the aesthetic standards of the community. I'd faced daily fines starting at $75. I called the HOA president. Explained I'm a disabled veteran. Explained I literally cannot enter my own home without that ramp. She said, "We understand your situation, but rules are rules. You should have gotten approval first." So I did my homework. Found out about the Fair Housing Act. Federal law says HOAs must make reasonable accommodations for disabled residents. They can't deny wheelchair ramps, period. I printed out the statute, attached my VA disability documentation, and sent it certified mail to the entire HOA board explaining they were violating federal civil rights law. They doubled down. Sent me a fine for $500, then $1,000. Threatened a lien on my house. Claimed my ramp was too visible from the street and offered to let me build one in the back. My front door is the only ground-level entrance. The back leads to a second-story deck. They were asking me to renovate my entire house. I hired a disability rights attorney. Cost me $2,000 up front. My lawyer sent them one letter. Laid out perfectly. The HOA was in clear violation of the Fair Housing Act. If they continued, we'd file a federal discrimination lawsuit. They'd be looking at penalties up to $19,000 per violation, plus my legal fees, plus damages for emotional distress. The board called an emergency meeting. 72 hours later, I got a formal written apology, all fines dropped, and a new policy. Any disabled resident can now install accessibility modifications without prior approval, as long as they're ADA compliant. 3 of my neighbors who'd been hiding their disabilities started making their own accommodations. One installed grab bars. Another put up a wheelchair ramp just like mine. The HOA president resigned quietly. Turns out she'd been blocking accessibility requests for years, and nobody had ever challenged her. Sometimes standing up for your rights costs $800, and the courage to fight back. That ramp is still at my front door, and I roll over it every single day.